Many people have battled cancer and survived, and those who have know there are many forms of healing that need to take place after going into remission. So author and doctor Katrina Cox joins us right now to talk about life after cancer. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with what led you to write your book in the first place.
Yeah, so I'm a naturopathic doctor, like you said, and I've been working with those in the cancer realm for over a decade. The inspiration for this book came from those patients, but more importantly, my parents. My personal journey with them through both of their cancer journeys really touched me. And the thing that made a big impact for me was the fact that they both went through their own treatments, they both did all their own things, but the reality was that after they got to remission, they struggled with recovery. And there wasn't a lot out there to give them guidance and to help them do that part of what they needed to do in order to get back to themselves. And so that was the really big inspiration of writing this book.
Right. And when you say they struggled with recovery, do you mean physically, emotionally, mentally, or are all of these ways that we have to recover?
All of it. In my parents' journey, my dad went first as a diagnosis. And when my mom, later on, when he was in remission, my mom went through it, there was a lot of post-traumatic stress that my dad went through just in being her primary support. And that was really hard for him because mentally he hadn't been able to really recover, and going into the same place and helping my mom with her journey really brought back a lot of memories and created this huge anxiety piece. Physically, they both struggled with energy recovering, and there's a lot of cognitive decline that people can experience.
Makes sense. Now, we hear you have 3 tips for someone who may be struggling with energy levels post-cancer. What are those?
Yeah, that's a really big one. Energy is one of those things that we all want because it moves us forward. The first tip is to assess and address deficiencies. It's very common after a cancer treatment that we have deficiencies, things like vitamin D, iron, B12. These are all big ways to make a huge impact on your energy. And so assessing those through the proper labs, making sure that they're in the right zones for you are very, very important. The second tip that I tell people is about how are you creating your energy. So what this means is that your cells need to recover from treatment, but you can be a part of that process simply by moving your body. So it's not necessarily classically exercise, although it can be. It's about body movement, getting oxygen into our system so that our cells can run on that, and then sleep. So those are the 2 basic foundations for recreating or creating energy in our body. And the third one is how do we sustain that energy? And so addressing that by getting enough protein in our diets from all sources. It can be plant-based, it can be carnivore-based, but protein across the board in a dietary intervention can make a huge difference for the nutritional bounds and working on stamina.
Great tips there. And if people are interested, where can they get your book?
Yeah, so the book is at theopportunityincancer.com, nice and easy, just like the title. You can download a copy for yourself. You can get hard copies. We have signed copies that you can also get. And then when you go to that website, you can also get a lovely add-on. So there's a workbook add-on that has all these resources that you can also download once you get a copy of the book.
Wonderful. Dr. Katrina Cox, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having me on.
And we'll be right back.